Hey everyone, just want to give an update here on ShipChain. I'm going to do a member introduction part of this video, and then I'm going to post a general video to the public. And I'm just going to leave out the details about the airdrop, just because if we did get, an additional 500 people from my video signing up, then that would mean less coins for members and people that have already joined the airdrop. So again, all of this is just for informational purposes only. Do your own research. I personally participated in the pre-sale. I do have ShipChain, and I am going to be looking at it from a fundamental perspective for the rest of the year at least, and looking at it as a longer-term investment. So going to give some information. Again, I already put out a similar video like this, going to go a little bit more in depth, and then we're going to look at the potential opportunity that we have here. So if you are interested in ShipChain, go to shipchain.io, click the join airdrop button. You have to fill out a little bit of information. You will have to fill out a KYC, and what that means is essentially just verifying your identity with your driver's license or passport. Some people don't like this because if that gets hacked, then someone has your information to link you to whatever exchange or wallet or whatever that you're using in terms of the address. Personally, what I would suggest is there are multiple programs that you can use here to access the airdrop. You could use MetaMask. You could use myetherwallet.com. I would use one that you're not using. Create an account just for this specifically, so there's no information tied to that address. So again, you will have to prove your identity to receive this airdrop, but if you click the join airdrop and you fill it out and you're comfortable with that, then you need to go over to the Telegram group, and on Telegram they have the ShipChain channel, and then they have ShipChain announcements, which is where just the administrators post pertinent information very rarely. And this ShipChain room right now has over 33,000 people with it. And when we first started looking at ShipChain, and when I first started posting about it in the chat room, there were less than 2,000 people. So in just a few weeks now, we went from 2,000 to 33,000. There's a lot of hype and demand around this project, and I'm going to be doing my best to keep in mind that most people aren't in yet. I'm not just going to say, buy this coin. We're going to go at it from like we always do, like a risk to reward scenario. We're going to use technical analysis and determine when we can get some good longer term entries for everybody. So that's where we stand in terms of this airdrop. Again, participated in it. It's free money at this point. Could potentially end up being a free $100. So why not? And we'll end up following through and watching ShipChain a lot more for the rest of this year. So I'm going to cut it here, and then we're going to get ready to the regular public version. Hello everyone, going to be doing something a little bit different. As many of you know, our videos are normally technical analysis driven, but I am going to be looking at things that catch my eye fundamentally a little bit more this coming year, and one of them is this project ShipChain. So just right off the bat, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm saying this is what I'm doing. Here's some information that you can empower yourself and do your own research and see if this is a project that you want to get behind. Personally, I participated in the pre-sale. I do own some ShipChain, but I'm going to be well aware that the vast majority of watchers of this video are not in that boat and are going to have to wait until it is listed on exchanges to be able to participate. So I'm not going to say, just buy this coin. It's great. It's going to the moon because I own some and I want everybody to buy it. I'm going to be taking a very unbiased viewpoint of things and making sure that, once we do have trading information on exchanges, that we will be using technical analysis to determine good risk to reward long-term entries. So shipchain.io is the website. Why I am interested real quick in this sector is because we had a former member, and there's a former member from TheChartGuys that is now very involved in, well, he's always been very involved in the shipping industry. I'll introduce him in just a little bit, but essentially it hit close to home in having a more personal connection to this space, and then realizing the potential, and then realizing a way that we can potentially make money off of that. So here's the ShipChain white paper. Obviously, if you are interested in this project, read the white paper. It has all the information. I'm not going to go through all of this information. It's there for you to look at, and there's got a lot of good information. Essentially, the shipping industry is absolutely massive. It's a $1.48 trillion industry in the United States, and we're not even talking global. So it is insanely massive. Even just the trucking industry is way bigger than I ever could have possibly imagined. So this is this monumental industry that, in my opinion, is just screaming for blockchain to take it over and revolutionize it. And the fact that people like this, like Craig, who we're going to introduce, who has been in shipping in his entire life, and he is very excited about blockchain and really looking forward to the future as well. That tells me, I mean, he has shipping and trucking in his blood. That tells me that there is definitely some synergies to be had here, and we're going to see this space aggressively met head on by these developers to establish systems that can so greatly improve things, from essentially just opening up the transparency where you can not need a broker. That's the biggest thing. When you need a broker to facilitate transactions and ensure that both parties are reaching an agreement and following that agreement, those brokers can take anywhere up to, 10, 20, 30%. If you cut out that middleman, which is what decentralization looks to do, you're cutting your costs to an insane amount, just comparatively when you look at everything on a whole and all those transactions that add up. So this blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize this space, not only in transparency, for preventing fraud, for knowing where things came from. Ideally, with this system, you will be able to figure out, what farm and what field this head of cabbage came from that's in the grocery store. It'll be that tracked in terms of the open ledger that the entire public of the internet has access to verify these things. So smart contracts for the shipping sector and the transparency that it will bring can revolutionize this trillion-dollar industry. And again, I keep saying in these videos where, the hype is great and the potential is great. Now we need these real-world, widespread applications. And I'm going to be watching this space for the next decade because it's going to be very exciting to watch this play out, in my opinion. So again, going through the whiteboard, you're going to get a lot of information about the sector, the problems, the transparency issues, the fraud issues, and how that can potentially be remedied by this blockchain technology, and then also how they plan on utilizing their coin here as incentive in their system. And they have definitely a very broad basis here. They're not focusing on any little niche. Like there's some projects out there that are focusing on maybe just tracking shipping containers. This is really opening it up to the whole shipping ecosystem. Now, I don't expect that, one ICO or one company is going to solve this issue. And that's why we're going to be looking at BITA, B-I-T-A. It's an alliance between all these shipping companies. What I'm finding that this space is doing is being very productive in terms of alliances and cooperation. This space is so massive that we don't have companies saying, oh, we got to be the first ones and corner this market. It's really saying, okay, this is a huge problem. We can make things better for everybody. Let's all work together and establish this framework, and there will be plenty of money for everybody if we get these savings down. So I really like the lack of competitive nature that's in this space right now, and the kind of mutually beneficial relationships that we see beginning to pop up. So the things that I'm going to point out real quick on the whiteboard here is the team. You want to, check out the team and make sure it's backed by some solid people. There are projects that are similar out there trying to take on, the shipping industry and decentralization, and their teams are much smaller, and it's a much smaller project. So I am very comfortable with the people behind this project right now. And again, look into it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. The CEO has some prior stuff that he's dealing with one of his previous companies, and he's dealing with a lawsuit, and the person on the other side of the lawsuit has a really shady backtrack record as well. So there are things to look into. Again, you want to look at the people behind the project, as that is essentially who you are entrusting with your investment. And aside from that, we have the timeline of when things are going to be occurring. Actually, one thing I want to point out is someone on the advisory board is Chris Perdue. He's the 4th generation family owner and spokesperson for Perdue Farms. There's already a partnership here with Perdue Farms, as we can see here. Obviously, that's a massive, big company, and they are running the pilot program, so to speak, and they're working on establishing the prototype for this system and testing it. So already having a partner like that on board, trying to find a solution and working towards getting this working product out there is definitely beneficial as well. So the timeline of events worth checking in on as well. I'm anticipating, again, they don't say anything due to SEC requirements about when they're going to be listed on exchanges. I'm personally anticipating late second quarter or sometime in the third quarter of 2018 to be looking for ShipChain to start being listed on exchanges. It is Ethereum based, so that gives a little bit more ease in integration on some of these platforms, or exchanges, I should say, for trading. So that's really when things are going to open up, because right now what happened is they had a pre-sale. The pre-sale sold out, and then Ethereum skyrocketed. So all the funds that they got for Ethereum instantly made 40 to 50%. So they all of a sudden had more money than they needed, and rather saying, okay, we're still going to have the ICO and raise even more money, they said, we got all the money we need on the pre-sale, we're canceling the ICO. And that unfortunately made a lot of people unhappy because they couldn't get in because the requirements for the pre-sale were higher in terms of needing a certain amount of capital and needing to be an accredited investor in the US. So those were some hurdles that people weren't able to get over. And now they have to wait until we're listed on exchanges before we can, accrue any significant amount of coins for a long-term investment. So that is something to keep an eye out for. The demand is already there. And when it does hit the exchanges, we will be watching for potential supply or demand outweighing supply, which is obviously great if you want the price to increase. So once we start getting on exchanges, things are going to get a little bit more clear in terms of, I'm going to be covering technical analysis and charts of ShipChain and things like that. They're planning on buying their own small carrier. A small carrier is acquired for internal testing to accelerate the adoption and development of our track and trace platform. That's in the third quarter of 2019. So you can see it's a long-term project looking multiple years out. And that's my perspective here. I'm a day trader. I do short-term trading. This is one of my projects that I'm going to be looking longer term as more of an investment and looking for that year-plus holding to obviously decrease tax requirements as well when taking in any capital gains. So again, read the white paper if you're interested. Do your own research. Empower yourself. This is not just saying, oh, Charting Man Dan's getting in on this, so I'm going to too. Empower yourself with some knowledge. Get into the Telegram group and get to be a part of that. That's required for some steps in getting information. And again, the ShipChain announcement channel is where it's going to be clear of clutter and only give some good information. So let's go into what I was talking about with our former member. Craig Fuller is the CEO of TransRisk. He left TheChartGuys after trading shipping stocks with us for some time, and he went to form this company. And what this company is doing is looking to essentially create a product that you can trade that is a hedge for shippers. It's a volatility index for shipping, so a way to lock in future prices in the now and protect against, unforeseen disasters, potentially hurricanes, things like that. There are so many uncertainties in shipping that you can protect against with a product like this. And they already have it for the shipping industry in the Baltic Sea, and they already have it for the stock market. There's a volatility index indicator that you can hedge some positions with. So that's what he's looking to do here. And very quickly, they started to shift focus as well on blockchain. So not only do they have this company doing their own volatility index thing, but they created BITA, the Blockchain in Transport Alliance. And this is an alliance between as many people as they can in this space. And there are a lot of members joining on here. And looks like right on time, this is not going to, there we go. So UPS just joined, FedEx. Again, you can go through this list and it's all the major players. And this is telling us, okay, so Blockchain Alliance, all of these companies are working together and willing to work together to try and facilitate large-scale solutions to a massive industry. And again, the lack of competition at this time, because it is such a massive project, is encouraging. So ShipChain is on this alliance, and so are all these other companies. And Craig is going to be, interacting with ShipChain and looking to get an interview with Craig in the future on here on our channel, and hopefully looking to interview some people at ShipChain to get some information as well and the progress of that product. So BITA is this alliance that has all these members in it. They're putting on an event, Transparency 18. This is in, I believe it's May of 2018 in Atlanta. I'm going to this event. I'm looking to talk with the members of ShipChain, and I'm looking to really soak it all in. I'm new to this sector, and my experience in it is derived from Craig, and he's definitely sparked my interest. But I'm going to be going there and looking at, all the events in the schedule, and they're going to have a bunch of speakers, and it's multiple days, and, meetings and demos and presentations and all that. So I'm going to be looking to record some of this information. I'll look to bring a camera and, write my thoughts and essentially just be a blogger for a couple days and check in with you and let you guys know what's happening and the things that catch my eye and some exciting projects. And why I like ShipChain right now is I don't think, if ShipChain is going to be the one to solve this issue and have their coin widespread accepted, anybody getting involved in this space is going to be multimillionaires. I'm not naive enough to say that's going to happen. I'm not looking for them to be the go-to. If they are, that's great, and we're all going to be filthy rich. And the odds of that happening are not very likely because of the size of this space. So what I'm looking for is their project to, continue development. I'm looking for there to be some hype around this space and excitement. And this is one of the few ways that you can monetize this at this point. So when Craig told me that he was getting into, blockchain and looking at all this stuff, my first question is, what coin are you using? Is there a way that we can profit off this? That's what we want to get involved in, projects that we can get behind and see value in. And at that point, there wasn't really much. They weren't using a coin. It's just the blockchain technology. Now there's a way to monetize this. And I do believe that the more that this sector and problem gets attention, that, people are going to look to ways to monetize it. And if you have a limited way of monetizing it, it's going to be bullish for that certain thing. So let's say ShipChain right now, let's say we were actively trading on exchanges looking a bit into the future, and you have news like this come out. So IBM, and I don't even know how to pronounce this company, Maersk, and IBM joint venture, they're going to make a company for this specific reason. The blockchain-powered digital platform looking to, use for the entire global shipping ecosystem. So they're creating a company. This was mentioned on CNBC. It hit the news. IBM is definitely in the forefront of public companies, and you can invest in IBM and try and profit that way. It's going to be much more boring than those who are used to the cryptocurrency space. But my point is, when news like this hits, that's going to only add to Google searches and people looking around and looking for coins and projects that are trying to tackle this major problem in an industry that is going to greatly benefit in the future, in my opinion. And so I think this is only a good thing. It's not noting ShipChain specifically, but it is noting the sector and the problem, and that will lead to increased interest in ShipChain, in my opinion, because again, it's not an incredibly competitive space right now. If there are partners and companies that have very beneficial parts of this puzzle of problem to solve, then they're going to be put together, and partnerships like this are going to be created. So I'm very excited about this space. I'm looking forward to providing information for the next year plus on the fundamentals as well as the technicals once we get the charts going. I am a holder. I'm not saying you should be a holder. I'm saying check out this project if it's something you're interested in. I do see the risk to reward potential certainly favoring reward at this point. Obviously, we're exposed to the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. If Bitcoin crashes to 2,000, it's going to have a significant impact. But in terms of the risk to reward, and again, I just want to note that I've only invested profits that I've made in the cryptocurrency space. So if my investment in ShipChain goes to zero, I'm still very comfortable in profit in the cryptocurrency space. So I am taking a higher risk, high reward play here because it is so new and so undeveloped at this point that I have a cushion where I'm very comfortable if it all is lost. So as always, never invest more than you would be willing to lose. And it really is going to depend on what exchanges that this gets listed in terms of its activity and its access to the general public. So if it gets listed on, Bitfinex and Bittrex and all these big exchanges, it's going to be a big deal and there'll be a ton of demand. And I already do see the demand is going to be pretty high just by the numbers that we are seeing currently in the Telegram group. So I'm really looking forward to the future from here, and I'll continue to provide updates as they become available. And that conference is in May, towards the end of May. So again, I'll be coming to you probably live from there at some point as well. I appreciate you all watching. Feel free to share in the comments of this video, share information with each other. If you have concerns that you want to bring up, that's fine. Again, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this and saying this, we're going to all get rich. I'm saying I see the opportunity here. I'm going to try and capitalize on it. And let's try and share some information in the comments and all empower each other to do our own due diligence. Thanks again, and we'll be back soon.